Scotland is a country where every turn in the road reveals something extraordinary. A castle on a hill, a glen shrouded in mist, or a loch that seems to stretch on forever. In this video, we'll explore 50 remarkable places across Scotland, from world-famous icons to those special places many visitors never see. We've spent over 10 years guiding travellers through Scotland. We're a small group tour company built to share Scotland's stories and landscapes in a more personal way. This list is drawn from those journeys, a guide to the places that truly capture the spirit of Scotland. Here are the 50 must-see places in Scotland. You can't miss Edinburgh Castle. It sits right on top of a volcano watching over the entire city. Inside you'll find the crown jewels and centuries of Scottish history. But honestly, just standing on the ramparts with that view feels like the perfect place to start your Scottish adventure. If you fancy a quick hike, Arthur's Seat is right in the middle of Edinburgh. It's an old volcano, but don't worry, it's long extinct. The walk doesn't take too long, and at the top you'll see Edinburgh spread out beneath you like a map. Tucked away by the water of Leith, Dean Village feels like stepping into an older kind of world. It's only minutes from Princes Street, but it's quiet, cobbled and picturesque. A perfect little escape when the city starts to feel a bit too busy. Rosslyn Chapel is just outside Edinburgh, and it's packed with detail. Carvings of saints, strange symbols, even stories that spark all kinds of myths. You'll always spot something new, no matter how many times you visit. It's small, but unforgettable. Kelvingrove is Glasgow's big showpiece museum, and the best part is, it's free. Inside you'll find everything from medieval armour to a Salvador Dali painting. It's the kind of place where you pop in for a quick look and end up staying for hours. These giant steel horse heads tower above the canal at Falkirk. They're a tribute to the working horses that once powered Scotland's industry. But they also nod to the old water spirit myths. Go in the evening, they light up and look incredible against the night sky. This is one of those only in Scotland engineering marvels. The Falkirk Wheel is the world's only rotating boat lift, a huge structure that slowly turns to carry boats between canals. Stirling Castle is where so much of Scotland's history played out. Mare, Queen of Scots, was crowned here, and the Wars of Independence raged right below its walls. These days, the royal rooms are beautifully restored, and you can really imagine life here in its heyday. Doune might look like a rugged medieval fortress, but you'll probably recognise it also from TV and film. It's popped up in Monty Python, Game of Thrones and Outlander. Even without the screen fame, it's worth a visit for the Great Hall alone. Melrose Abbey is a beautiful ruin with a lot of history packed into its walls. Founded back in the 12th century, it became one of Scotland's most important monasteries. Look closely and you'll spot quirky little carvings. It's also said to be where Robert the Bruce's heart was buried. Just down the road you'll find Jedburgh Abbey, another impressive 12th century building. It's been caught up in border wars for centuries, so what's left today is weathered but still striking. Standing under those tall arches you really get a sense of its former grandeur. If you like a good coastal walk, St Abb's Head is hard to beat. It's all rugged cliffs, seabirds and big views over the North Sea. On a windy day, it'll feel properly wild. Greymare's Tail is one of Britain's highest waterfalls, dropping 60 metres down a steep valley. There's a walking trail that takes you right up past it to Loch Skye above. It's a short but dramatic climb, with amazing views once you're up on the top. Glencoe is one of the most dramatic valleys in Scotland, towering peaks, deep glens, and weather that changes by the minute. It's also the site of the infamous 1692 massacre, so there's a real sense of history here too. Drive through or stop for a walk and you'll see why it's a highlight of the Highlands. Just off Glencoe, there's a little side road that winds its way into Glen Etive. It's a single track road that ends at a remote sea loch, and it's stunningly peaceful. You might know it from the James Bond film Skyfall, but in real life it's all about the solitude and the scenery. Ben Nevis is the UK's highest mountain at 1,345 metres. You don't need to climb it to appreciate it. Just being in Fort William and looking up at that peak is impressive enough. But if you are into hiking, making it to the summit is an unforgettable experience. Culloden is a haunting place, the site of the final Jacobite battle in 1746. It lasted less than an hour, but it changed Scotland forever. Walking among the clan gravestones on the moor really brings that history to life. From the Glenfinnan Monument you get one of the most classic Highland views. Loch Shiel stretching away into the distance, framed by steep hillsides. On a calm day, the reflections on the water are unbelievable. And just nearby is the Glenfinnan Viaduct, which you might recognise as the Harry Potter Hogwarts Express Bridge. The Jacobite steam train still crosses it in summer. Watching it chug across with the mountains in the background is pure magic. Falkirk Castle sits right on the banks of Loch Ness, and even though it's mostly a ruin, it's still impressive. This place saw centuries of clan battles and sieges. The real treat though is the view. Standing on the ramparts looking out across the loch is unforgettable. Probably one of the most photographed castles in Scotland, Eilean looks like it was designed for a postcard. It sits on a little island where three lochs meet, linked to the shore by a stone bridge. It's been rebuilt, but it still feels like stepping into a storybook. Balmoral has been the royal family's Highland retreat since Queen Victoria and Prince Albert bought it in 1852. In summer you can wander through the gardens and grounds. It's not just a grand castle, it's also a glimpse into the royal family's life in Scotland. Dunnottar clings to the edge of a cliff on the Aberdeenshire coast, surrounded by the North Sea. It's famous for hiding the Scottish crown jewels from Cromwell's army, and the walk down and back up is, well, it's a bit of a climb, but the views make it more than worth it. With its pointed turrets and grand gardens, Dunrobin looks more like a French chateau than a Scottish fortress. This is the seat of the Dukes of Sutherland, and they have lived there for over 700 years. Outside, daily falconry displays add a little extra magic to the visit. Killearn Castle is a dramatic ruin on the shores of Loch Awe, once a stronghold of the Campbells. When the mist rolls over the water, it looks almost otherworldly. It's one of those castles that photographers can't resist. High above Oban, McCaig's Tower is a circular stone monument that looks a bit like a Colosseum. It was built in the 19th century and frames brilliant views over the town and the islands. Head up at sunset for the best experience. The Old Man of Storr is probably Skye's most famous landmark. It's a jagged pinnacle of rock rising high above the landscape. The walk up there is short, but it's very steep, and when you reach the top, it's well worth the views that stretch across the island. It's the kind of place that makes you feel tiny. The Kerrang was created by a massive landslip that's still slowly shifting today. Every turn in the trail reveals a new dramatic view. It's impossible not to be impressed. Portree is Skye's main town, with colourful houses wrapped around a sheltered harbour. It's lively, with shops, pubs and fishing boats coming and going, but it's also really photogenic. It's the perfect place to base while you're exploring the island. The Fairy Glen feels like a miniature version of Skye's dramatic landscapes. Small grassy hills, tiny loch-ins, and quirky rock formations make it feel like a place straight out of a storybook. It's playful, unusual, and completely enchanting. Tobermory is one of Scotland's most colourful towns, alongside Portree of course, with bright houses lined up along the waterfront. It's small, friendly, and has a great mix of shops and pubs. The harbour itself is still busy with boats, which adds to its charm. Iona Abbey is one of the most important religious sites in Scotland. Founded by St Columba in the 6th century, the island is tiny and remote, and that quiet atmosphere makes visiting the abbey feel really special. It's a place people have been drawn to for peace for over thousands of years. Fingal's Cave is one of those natural wonders that doesn't seem real until you see it. Its walls are made of perfectly hexagonal basalt columns, shaped by volcanic activity millions of years ago. Add in the echo of the waves in the cliffside and it feels like being in a natural cathedral. The Callanish stones have been standing on a ridge in Lewis for over 5,000 years, older than Stonehenge. No one knows for sure what they were built for, but their alignment with the moon and stars suggests an astronomical purpose. Whatever the reason, standing among them is unforgettable. Luskentyre is often named one of the best beaches in the world, and it's easy to see why. The sand is blindingly white, the water a bright turquoise, and the mountains of Harris rise up in the background. On a sunny day, it feels tropical, until the Atlantic breeze reminds you otherwise. Skara Brae is a Neolithic village that's older than the pyramids of Egypt. It was uncovered by a storm in the 1800s, and inside you'll find stone furniture, beds, hearths and cupboards, still in place after 5,000 years. Walking through it feels like stepping straight into prehistory. The standing stones of Stenness are among the oldest stone circles in Britain, dating back more than 5,000 years. Only a few of the huge monoliths remain standing, but their sheer size is incredible. Together with the nearby ring of Brodgar, they're at the heart of Orkney's ancient ceremonial landscape. Smoke Cave is a massive sea cave in the far north. With a waterfall dropping right into its chamber, it's part natural wonder, part legend, and a bit eerie too. You can take a short tour inside, which makes it even more memorable. Sandwood Bay is one of the wildest, most remote beaches in Scotland, and you can only get there by walking 4 miles across moorland. When you arrive, you're met with golden sands, rolling dunes, and a dramatic sea stack offshore. It's completely untouched. This winding mountain pass climbs high above the west coast. It's full of hairpin bends and steep drops, so it's not for the nervous drivers among us. But at the top, the views across to Skye and the islands are just unbeatable. Blockton is a picture-perfect Highland village with whitewashed cottages, a sheltered bay and even palm trees, thanks to the mild climate. Boats bob in the water and the sunsets are stunning. No wonder it's often called the jewel of the Highlands. The Hermitage is a beautiful woodland walk. Created back in the 18th century, towering Douglas firs line the path, and at its centre is Ossian's Hall, a little folly built to frame the roaring Blacklin Falls. It's an easy walk with a big payoff, and just the most peaceful place in Scotland. In the heart of Cullen village, the River Dochart tumbles over rocks beneath an old stone bridge. On a small island in the river, you'll find the burial ground of Clan MacNab. It's one of those rare spots where history and landscape come together perfectly. Inverness Castle, home to the Dukes of Argyll, rises above the shores of Loch Fyne with fairy tale turrets and sweeping lawns. Inside are grand rooms packed with Campbell history. Outside, the views across the loch make it just as impressive. Kilmartin Glen is one of the most important prehistoric landscapes in Europe. Within a few miles you'll find standing stones, burial cairns and carved rocks, some dating back over 5,000 years. Walking here feels like travelling through layers of Scotland's ancient past. Loch Cynealen is a calm, reflective loch with a ruined castle on a tiny island within it. Surrounded by old Scots pines, it's a peaceful and timeless place. It's one of the Cairngorm's real hidden gems. Loch Katrine has been inspiring visitors for centuries, thanks in part to Sir Walter Scott's Lady of the Lake. You can still cruise its waters on a century-old steamship named after him. It's Highland scenery in miniature, easy to reach from the central belt. Whale Steps is a stairway of more than 300 steps carved into a sheer cliff. It leads down to a tiny harbour where fisherwomen once carried baskets of herring up and down each day. The name comes from a whale that was washed ashore here, Whale meaning whale bay. Sinclair Castle clings to a narrow headland just north of Wick, with the sea pounding on both sides. It was once the seat of the powerful Sinclair clan, but centuries of storms and battles have left it a dramatic ruin. Standing there, it feels like history and nature are still fighting for it today. That was our journey through 50 of the most incredible places to see in Scotland. If you'd like to experience them for yourself, join us at Scotland's Wild. We run small group and private tours across the country, led by guides who bring Scotland's stories to life. Find out more at scotlandswild.com and start planning your own adventure today.